August 3rd, 1941. It is not unusual to witness from time to time some sporadic summer storms in the Soviet Union. But the storm that comes this week does not come with clouds and rains, but it comes with the panzers and the motorized infantry of Army Group Center. This week, the Germans unleash a new offensive for the third time against the Western Front. But unlike the previous two episodes, this time around, the Western Front goes on the counteroffensive. Vicious battles are being fought around Roslav and Dubrovka, and this time the Western Front breaks free from the encirclement. Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to, as always, the first episode of this new turn in War in the East 2, the online challenge. So this might not be Operation Typhoon, but this is definitely the German storm. Yes, I'll show you more about this in a few seconds. I have deactivated the unit visualization on the map for one simple reason, because I was horrified when I saw what I saw when I received the turn. And let's have a look at the turn summary. So I've lost 130,000 men, 2,200 guns, surprisingly 82 AFVs, this is like wow, a new record for me, and 154 planes. And this massive loss of manpower is most likely because I've sent many units, I think just 4 of them, 4 or 5 last week, to the reserve tier boxes, and this could explain this sudden spike in the manpower in the Soviet TBs. And I just can't explain this massive loss of planes, 2,400 planes, because there were no redeployments occurring nor disbandments scheduled for this turn. There will be like some disbandments next turn when many level bomber air groups will be disbanded in the Soviet reserve, but not this week. So I don't know. I don't understand this. Besides that, events, I already checked it, and it was just the Soviet partisans in Russia, so nothing too crazy. But let's have a look just at the metrics, because yeah, with the Germans going on the offensive again and catching me by surprise for the third time, I think, yes, the overall number of men went down a little bit, and actually for the Axis it went up a little bit. Manpower losses, yeah, we've seen it already, and the manpower pool, yeah, the Axis went up and mine kept declining, and is still declining as the turns go by. And if we have a look at the losses, ground losses, let's say since the last turn, since the Axis phase, no, sorry, Axis action phase, yeah, so I've lost 117,000 men, which is pretty bad, to be honest, although since the Soviet air phase, okay, only 784. Okay, I was thinking something more, but the big news comes when we look at the air losses, because this week there have been some of the most intense air battles along the entire Eastern Front, and these are simply gigantic, like titanic losses. I don't want to exaggerate, but I think I've won the battle for air superiority in the East by doing, say, really a mixture of air directives that I will show you in a second. Of course, I also paid a decent price, but overall the Axis lost 340 planes, and I've lost only 313. For the first time, my enemy lost more planes than me. And yeah, I don't think that this is sustainable in the long run. But I don't know, maybe my opponent will pull up an ace up his sleeve. Who knows? Only time will tell. But besides these majestic air victories, the situation on the ground is again horrible, because, well, yes, my opponent attacked me here with 2 infantry divisions, and yeah, so it's yeah, he opened a breach over here. He then opened a breach over here with wow, look at that, look at that, 19 combat value, the 213th Pioneer Battalion. Like, this is like insane. And despite the fact that I had even 2 divisions in reserve, the battle was lost for me. And in the first battle, the 244th Rifle Division retreated. In the second one, it was simply routed. And here we have the 268th retreated, and then again here retreated, the 108th Tank Division, and here the 223rd Rifle Division was simply routed. And then I think he just screened the whole pocket with units. And because I was feeling that something was wrong here, I did launch a series of bombing missions in these hexes. And well, in some of them I found my prey. And interestingly, okay, so here, for instance, it was a big failure for me, but no, where is it? Is it air combat? Yeah, like in this one here, like he lost 40 freaking 5 planes versus 21 of mine, and 16. Okay, that I had the numerical superiority here. But 16, I mean, this is just insane. Insane losses. And also, I've launched, I think they're over here, an air superiority mission here. Yeah, look at that. Like, somehow 68 to 68, and I still shot down 18 enemy planes. Here, okay, 66 and 16, 5, and here 71 and 10, just 2 shot down. Here I bombed the hell out of the enemy, and yeah, I mean, 174 versus 20. Come on, man, you cannot compete against these numbers. And 170 versus 8, 3 lost. And yeah, I mean, I don't know again how he will react to this, but yeah, I think I am optimistically thinking that I might have won the air war in the east. But of course, winning the air war means nothing if you lose the ground war. And yeah, what I was thinking of doing this week is to counterattack here. Because here I have some mechanized units, some tank divisions, 1 tank and 1 mechanized here, and I have some reserves here. I don't know if this was like a premonition, but I was kind of happy to have redeployed some. Okay, these are just militia units, so they're crap and weak, but you know, having an attack combat value of 4, of 5, and okay, this is a rifle division with a combat value of 6, might become helpful this turn. My goal is always to reopen this encirclement, maybe in this area over here, and then try to pull out as many troops as I possibly can. Yeah, that's it. That's all for this quick introduction. And as always, folks, it's time to jump straight into the episode. Alright, folks, so yes, this week the Western Front, for the first time I would say, since June 22nd, launches a counterattack. Small spoiler, the counterattack will come a bit later during this episode. Yes, as always, at the beginning I was focusing on reorganizing my armies, my HQs, disbanding fortified units, and just to save on the manpower, reassigning divisions, moving HQs, reassigning HQs, and you know, the usual, let's say, I would call it the bureaucracy of managing and micromanaging the Red Army in 1941. But yeah, concerning this counterattack, why I wanted to focus the attention on that. Because this counterattack is basically delaying the advance of the Germans. You will see later in the video, is not really a magnificent counterattack. I barely opened up 2 hexes, which of course is not enough to allow my trapped units to escape from this pocket. But still, when you play as the Soviets, even if you manage to, let's say, unlock the isolated, let's say, status of your units, your opponent has to invest 1 more week in just tightening the noose around your besieged units, and then he can start proceeding with annihilating them. And you know, when you are in 1941 as the supreme commander, let's say, of the Red Army, you want to gain as much time as you possibly can. The classical way is just to pull back with your troops, which is fine if you don't care about victory points too much. But of course, the other way is to try it and fight. Retreat is fine, yes, especially in the early weeks, as we have seen. But at some point, you have to dig in and fight. You have to launch, ideally, counterattacks. They will be horrendously costly, and they will end up in costly failures, but you have to hold your ground. You have to stand and fight. You have to tell your opponent that you're not willing to give up. You're not giving up. You are really, let's say, making him pay in blood and men and guns and tanks and whatever you have to really to delay him as long as you possibly can. I must say, the massive intervention of the Soviet Air Force did play a crucial role, most likely in weakening those motorized regiments of the 29th Motorized Divisions enough to allow my troops to open up a gap which is 2 hexes wide. But still, you really have to find your way to let's say, delay the enemy. Another tactic that against some, say, the least experienced Axis player also works is to exploit gaps in the enemy lines, and then just throw in your cavalry divisions. The best case scenario is to find where the enemy FBD units are, and of course, if you find them, you have to rout them, and you have to disrupt the enemy logistics as much as you possibly can. Cavalry divisions do have between 3,000 to 4,000 manpower, so they're not really expensive, but because of their high mobility, they are incredibly valuable assets that you can use, say, really behind enemy lines. And yeah, I would say that was all what I wanted to say in this brief, again, commentary of this episode. I leave you to the rest of the video. Yeah, as always, you will see me just pulling back river by river in, let's say, an attempt to stabilize, as always, the front line. And yeah, again, as I said, that's all. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. But don't leave the channel, because there is still 1 more episode for this turn, and in which, as always, we will have a look at what happens south of the Pripyat marshes.